China is truly a vast and fascinating country. 9,600,000 square kilometers of land, 3 million square kilometers of seas, and it's never still, changing with the rotation of the seasons. To fly like a bird is to see things that are beyond your imagination. You visit places you would never before have dreamed of. And even familiar places, when you look down on them from on high, will assume a completely different appearance. We'll take you to explore places close at hand and far away, to witness nature and geography, humanity and history. This 50-minute air journey will bring you the amazing experience you've never had before. From now on, join us as we embark on a unique journey across the sky.
Xizang lies in the southwest of China, often referred to as the roof of the world. The vast Changtang Plateau in northern Xizang boasts a wild beauty dotted with thousands of shimmering lakes. Here, the interplay of rivers and mountains has nurtured lands, forests, and civilizations. Join us on a journey to the summit, beginning in Lhasa, where we'll acclimate to the high-altitude air. Then we'll continue our training at Luodui Peak, and from there, venture west towards the beckoning heights of Earth's tallest mountains. Upon arriving in Lhasa, one is immediately greeted by the plateau air. However, the high altitude and low pressure mean that the air is much thinner here. Some, however, leverage these conditions to engage in high-intensity activities. This climbing school, established over 20 years ago, trains professional climbers and mountaineering guides using scientific methods. The most outstanding students upon graduation embark immediately on their journey to the world's highest peaks. Lies Luodui Peak, soaring to 6,010 meters. For climbers, Luodui Peak is a readily accessible snow mountain. Each year, teams preparing for Everest begin here with acclimatization training. The abundant snowfall has fostered a unique sport here, ski mountaineering. Participants strap on their skis or use the skins on the bottom of the skis to ascend to certain heights, and then they exhilaratingly descend. Reveling in the adrenaline rush, where physical fitness, skill, experience, and bravery are all essential. The journey to the north face of Mount Everest begins from Lhasa County in Shigatse City. The road culminates at Rongbuk Monastery, the world's highest monastery. Tour buses arrive here, marking the culmination of their journey. With just a glance upward, visitors find themselves at the closest viewpoint to behold Mount Everest. A select few venture an additional 8 kilometers to reach Everest Base Camp. As for our aerial journey, we will ascend into the skies, approaching Everest from above. In the distant mountain range stand the world's 4th highest peak, Lhasa, the 5th, Makalu, and the 6th, Choyu, all surpassing the 8,000-meter mark. However, most people struggle to recall their names, overshadowed by the world's tallest mountain, Mount Everest. The first rays of dawn reach its summit just a few seconds earlier each day. In 2020, China and Nepal jointly announced Everest's latest official height at 8,848.86 meters. There are 14 peaks in the world over 8,000 meters, 10 of which are along this very Himalayas. Some 65 million years ago, the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates gave birth to the Himalayas, stretching 2,450 kilometers in length and 200 to 300 kilometers in width. One of Earth's youngest mountain ranges, it boasts an average elevation near 7,000 meters, surpassing all other ranges and reigning supreme on our planet. In China, many geographical features owe their formation to this monumental tectonic collision. The world's highest plateau was sculpted by it, as were countless rugged ridges, lakes, canyons, and wastelands. Thanks to this event, the patterns of wind, snow, rain, and fog are intricately connected. It has profoundly influenced the forms of life found here, their survival strategies, and the course of civilization. This venture is exceptionally challenging. Our helicopter approaches Everest at an altitude of nearly 7,500 meters. From a unique perspective, we witness two opposing forces acting against one another. Under gravity's influence, Everest's eternal glaciers erode the mountain, gradually descending. Concurrently, under immense tectonic pressure, the Indian plate continues to push into the Eurasian continent. The Himalayas are still ascending. Everest continues to reach skyward. On this journey, we follow the waterways and highways, exploring the eastern extremities of the Himalayas. At Yarlung Zangbo Grand Canyon, the river makes a dramatic turn, ushering water vapor onto the plateau, infusing it with vibrant life. Yet this also poses challenges to road construction. Visitors entering Xizang via National Highway 318 often pause at the Sigila mountain pass to take photos, more photos, and even more photos. However, most of the time, they can only point to their pictures and say, "Look, there's Namcha Barwa in the distance, obscured by clouds." So we ascend above the clouds, and after some searching, finally lock on to its elusive peak. It's somewhat high, standing at 7,782 meters. It's quite old, roughly 65 million years in age. And it's somewhat special. This is where the eastward stretch of the Himalayas reaches its end. Warm, moist air from the southern seas meets it, is forced to spiral upward, and shrouds the mountain in clouds. That's why Namcha Bawa eludes our cameras. Don't chalk it up to bad luck. This is a regular occurrence. Descending about 6,000 meters vertically, we arrive at the world's largest gorge. The core area of the Yarlung Zangbo Grand Canyon, considered one of Earth's last unexplored sanctuaries. Very few explorers and scientists have ever set foot here, leaving behind only a few written records. Our flight confirms their descriptions. They speak of dense forests, cascading waterfalls and glaciers. They also mentioned a series of riverbed waterfalls here, known as Sangpo Badong. Wherever there's a drop, even the calmest rivers reveal their true power. Yarlung Zangbo Grand Canyon acts as a natural corridor in the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. Warm, moist air currents faithfully navigate its course, traveling upstream, creating a unique stretch of greenery in southeastern Xizang. At the entrance to the Great Gorge, though not the origin of the peach blossom spring, the words from that tale take on a beauty of their own here. With banks several steps apart, lush grass growing abundantly, and flowers falling like rain, the flatland and the orderly houses create a network of thoroughfares. Amidst them, the work of cultivation. With tourists more vibrant than the wild peach blossoms. They dress with care, hoping for a crisp, clear day. Because compared to the paradise in Tao Yuanming's writing, here we have the backdrop of snowy mountains. Medog is the last county in China to be connected by road. It's nestled in the southern foothills of the Himalayas. Here the air is heavy with moisture, which throughout the year manifests as frost, rain, snow and fog, hindering easy access to the outside world. But the people refuse to be deterred. Faced with rivers and ravines, they build bridges. Confronting unstable mountains, they insert anchor rods and lay anchor cables. Facing the formidable Galongla snow mountain, they spent over 2 years constructing a 3-kilometer-long tunnel to traverse it. In response to avalanches, they built extended protective galleries. Since the 1960s, The 117-kilometer-long Jiamo Highway underwent over 50 years of construction before finally opening to traffic in 2013. However, frequent mudslides continue to wreak havoc on the roads, prompting an almost relentless effort in repairs. As of October 2022, the second Maydog Highway was almost completed. A 3-hour drive from here leads to Ningqi Mainling Airport. The relentless spirit embodied by the Jiamo Highway reflects the indomitable will of people in Xizang, showing that here, regardless of length, form, or location, behind every saying that where there's a road, there's a way through the mountains, stands an extraordinary engineering feat. With 120,000 kilometers of roads and 1,300 kilometers of railway, these numbers are continually updated each year. Thanks to these roads, traversing this plateau becomes as easy as strolling on level ground. Join us on an ecological journey across the Changtang Plateau. Behold the ice and snow of the world's third pole soaring above the realms of numerous wildlife species, including a rare, almost mythical creature. Showing reverence to Xizang's largest lake and paying respect to the conservationists. On the plateau, water ascends as clouds, clouds descend as snow, and the perennial snow yearly transforms into sprawling glaciers. Multiple glaciers merge, forming the expansive ice field before us, Purog-Kangri. Sculpts the land beneath it unbridled, encompassing over 400 square kilometers. Whether through ice tongues carving mountains, or ice cirques carving steep ridges, or glaciers grinding rocks into deserts of ice. In the year 2000, scientists embarked on an expedition into Purog-Kangri and ascertained that it is the largest glacier on Earth outside of Antarctica and the Arctic. The Changtang Plateau, where Purog-Kangri is located, sits in northern Xizang, covering nearly 600,000 square kilometers, larger than the combined areas of Yunnan and Guizhou provinces. Its average altitude is nearly 5,000 meters, with annual average temperatures mostly below 0 degrees Celsius. Much of the Changtang Plateau remains inaccessible to humans. However, the presence of the bearded vulture signals that this is not a barren land for life. These scavengers are found where animal life is plentiful. They are drawn to death. But more often, they witness a flourishing ecosystem. In contrast to their domesticated relatives, Qiangs live free from the burdens of labor. Their surplus energy is spent in wild, free runs. To distinguish themselves from Tibetan antelopes, Tibetan gazelles sport heart-shaped white patches. Tibetan brown bears seizing the summer are eager to nurture their young and prepare for winter hibernation. Numerous lakes serve as sanctuaries for water birds. Diving in, they demonstrate remarkable breath-holding abilities. Following the migratory black-necked cranes each March and April, we encounter diverse landscapes. The Changtang Plateau provides a vast stage for a grand celebration of life. In the distance, a herd of yaks crosses the snowy mountains. Yaks, a common sight in Xizang, are resilient to cold and drought, making them crucial livestock. Yet, add the word wild, and their numbers dwindle alarmingly at less than 30,000. Add the word golden, and they become almost mythical. Yet, these rare creatures grace us with their presence. According to estimates, fewer than 300 golden wild yaks exist globally. This sighting alone already represents 1% of their total population. Their rarity means knowledge about them is limited. Golden wild yaks, with their unique fur and their classification as a subspecies of wild yak, remain a mystery. They live and migrate with common yaks. How to categorize them is a human concern. On this wild plateau, sticking together is key. The Changtang Plateau boasts over 25,000 square kilometers of lakes, accounting for a quarter of China's total lake area. Climate changes have led to substantial glacier melting, resulting in Xizang Lake nearly doubling in size over the past half-century. In 2001, it overtook Lake Namso as the largest lake in Xizang, a title it has retained ever since. Surrounding the Great Lake, lush aquatic grass thrives. But the harsh weather on the Changtang Plateau has long posed significant challenges to the local herders' way of life. The fragile plateau ecosystem is burdened by the growing population of humans and livestock. Starting in 2017, herders living in difficult conditions across the Changtang Plateau began relocating to county towns under a relocation policy, starting new lives. Their children now live closer to schools, and the adults are closer to each other. But what about their livestock? They continue to live carefree days. Only this time, in well-planned grazing areas, with comfortable shelters and artificially cultivated forage. The animals grow faster and healthier. This relocation at high altitudes continues to benefit both people and nature. While improving the herders' quality of life, it also leaves more of the Changtang Plateau for the wildlife that inhabits it. here in Changtang had no roads initially, but frequent travel has gradually formed paths. These permanent trails mark the job trajectories of the rangers in the Changtang National Nature Reserve. In the past, their main task was to prevent poaching, and any unfamiliar tire tracks would instantly raise their alarm. The Tibetan antelope, unique to the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, has half of its population residing in the Changtang. Years ago, they faced a devastating crisis, with their numbers plummeting from nearly 1 million to about 50,000. With intensified conservation efforts, the current Tibetan antelope population has rebounded to nearly 300,000. Their conservation status has greatly improved. Today, over 700 rangers primarily focus on patrolling, monitoring, and recording. In their view, this second largest terrestrial nature reserve in the world is becoming livelier. The alpine biodiversity gene bank is rapidly recovering, bolstered by human efforts. The ecological barrier is being strengthened. The Changtang Plateau is emerging as a stronghold of ecological civilization. Traveling to the Ngari prefecture, one encounters a mountain of transcendental prominence. Beneath it lies a great lake, divided into two parts, and following the Xiangquan River westward, one is greeted by a landscape of wonder. This area once hosted a mysterious kingdom. In many parts of Xizang, circumambulation is a custom. For many, it's a lifelong dream to embark on a pilgrimage here. That mountain is Mount Kangrenbok. Amid the mountain range, Kangrenbok stands out with its unique stature. Known in Xizang as the Mountain of the Gods. Indians regard it as the center of the world. While not the tallest peak, Kangrenbok's distinct recognizability renders it unforgettable. Its ridgelines and sheer cliffs create a unique silhouette. While the southern face of the mountain bears deep traces from rain, snow, and wind erosion, forming a massive ice trough that runs through it. Located in a plateau subarctic arid climate zone, Mount Kangrenbok experiences an average with 40% of its rainfall in August. The trickles of water originating from Kangrenbok and nearby glacial meltwaters may seem modest, but they are the true sources or vital tributaries for three of Asia's great rivers: the Yarlung-Tsangpo River, the Indus River, and the Ganges. These rivers nourish life and sustain civilizations along their course. Mount Kangrenbok is considered the source of all waters by the ancients. Some of these waters remain at the mountain's base, gathering into lakes. These two lakes were once part of a single large lake. Climate change caused the lake to recede, splitting it in two. It resulted in their radically different fates. Mapam Yamko Lake, a freshwater lake, is cherished for nurturing life. While Langako, being saline, is often overlooked. However, both lakes play a crucial role in moderating the harsh climate and providing refuge for people and wildlife. Flying westward, less than 200 kilometers away, there once was another great lake. Due to the Himalayan orogeny, the lake bed was uplifted and then continuously eroded by wind, rain, and rivers, ultimately shaping a geological wonder spanning over 5,000 square kilometers, the Earth Forest. Located alongside the Shangquan River, is near China's least populous county, Zanda County, appearing somewhat desolate. The Earth Forest has been a hub of human activity for over 2 millennia. In the 9th century, descendants of the Tubo dynasty established their kingdom here, uniting Ngari and setting their capital amidst the Earth Forest. Within this vertical landscape, one can find caves, houses, watchtowers, secret passages, and stupas. From bottom to top, the social status of the residents rose, with the royal palace at the summit. During the 7 centuries of the Guj kingdom's existence, Mount Kangrenbok was revered by this dynasty. Soaring to 6,656 meters, Mount Kangrenboche, for various reasons, remains unclimbed to this day. Revered and cherished by people, beyond ritual circumambulation, there are other ways to connect with it. During the off-season, when scattered residents gather at its base for equine fellowship, contrary to the safety and aerodynamics of modern horse racing attire, here flamboyance is paramount. Atop spirited steeds, impressive dressing is essential. Riders may spur their horses to take the lead, but winning and losing are secondary. Their expressions reveal a spirit of tranquility, harmony, and camaraderie. These are the values shaping the new way of life for the herders. In the highlands, unique wisdom is required for survival. A saline lake enables cultivation. Sheep roam across the lake, while practices are conducted atop cliffs and sand control is carried out by the riverbanks. Tangra Yamko, a saline lake, is unsuitable for irrigation and drinking. Yet its evaporating waters form rain clouds, creating a mild and moist microclimate nearby. This rain, along with mountain meltwater, provides Wenbunan village with a unique agricultural ecosystem, leading to more varied meals. As night falls, the villagers of Tuiwa commence their work. They rush to spread ash on the icy surface before the wind rises, creating a non-slip path. Then they bring back the sheep that have been on the central island for over a month. Once the lead sheep steps onto the ice, the rest follow suit. The herders know the leading sheep effect well. It's a 3-kilometer-long line of sheep, stretching from the winter fodder on the island to the lakeside village. This impressive scene, occurring only in winter, is part of a 1,000-year-old cyclic event. While monochromatic snow-peaked mountains are common in Xizang, the Kamdos Mountains are particularly colorful. Siju Temple, nestled against a mountain far from towns, is surrounded by staggered houses. In 2015, with the opening of Jianeng Grand Bridge, afforestation also began on the northern bank. These lush trees are transforming the environment of people on both sides of the Yalung Changpo River. The journey starts at an ancient fortress overlooking fertile fields from above. It includes a visit to Naiseri Mountain's unique monastery, unveiling the secrets of vast Lake Namtso, and gathering cosmic messages in Yangbajine. Finally, arriving in Lhasa, the city of sunshine, its magic continues to enchant. For over 1,000 years, this ancient fortress atop Gyeonse-dzong has served various roles, as a palace, a monastery, and the old feudal government. Its most notable moment was in 1904, when the Xizang military and civilians used it to resist the invading British Army. Armed with rudimentary guns and cannons, they put up a fierce resistance until they ran out of supplies, ultimately making a heroic sacrifice. Today, in peaceful times, the fortress stands on the hill, watching over the cycles of life below. The Nyang River, a significant tributary of the Yarlung Changpo River, waters the fertile plains of Shigatse in Xizang, leading to the highest yields of highland barley in its 3,500-year history. Now, even people beyond the plateau can enjoy highland barley grown in Xizang. Increasingly, more people are choosing this grain from the snowy highlands, seeking health in their diet. Flying northward, we see a vast, dreamlike expanse of blue waters, Xizang's second largest lake, Namtso. Before us, a red dinghy approaches a yellow device at the heart of the lake. In 2019, this buoy platform was deployed in Lake Namtso. Through it, dynamic parameters can be transmitted in real time to a data center in Beijing. Researchers are conducting bi-monthly routine calibrations and simultaneously carrying out sampling operations in the nearby waters. Wandering between water and sky, this job appears lonely, yet it is envied by many. From waters to the space, 789 white containers form an experimental array situated in Yangbajine. A high-altitude area with thin air, offering scientists an ideal setting to pursue cosmic superrays. The study of cosmic rays plays an important role in advancing modern physics. Since its inception in 1989 until 2022, researchers here have made 3 groundbreaking discoveries. Perhaps we still need time to comprehend their true significance. But there's no doubt that it's globally recognized as cutting-edge technology. Originally called Lhasa, the Yokang Temple later evolved as Lhasa, giving the city its current name. The streets surrounding the Jokang Temple are known as Bakor Street, one of the busiest and most popular streets in Lhasa. At night, its contours become more distinct to the crowds. As the golden roof illuminates, Bakor Street begins to come alive. From a few early risers to bustling crowds, elderly and children, locals and tourists. Tradition and modernity converge at Bakor Street each morning. Creating a harmonious scene. Not far from the Yokang Temple, the Potala Palace also greets a new day. In the 630s AD, Tubo King Songtsen Gampo moved the capital to Lhasa and began constructing the Potala Palace. In the year 641, Princess Wencheng journeyed here. She brought books on history, astronomy, and calendrical calculation, significantly impacting the cultural development of Xizang. The story of Princess Wenqing teaching local women the arts of spinning and embroidery is still passed down in Lhasa. And many new stories of ethnic unity continue to unfold daily in Xizang. In June, the valleys are veiled by low-hanging rain clouds. Unlike modern cities, where those skyscrapers are often seen piercing the clouds, Lhasa reserves its highest point for the majestic Potala Palace and leaves the skies to the snow-capped mountains. Xizang, comprising 1/8 of China's landmass, unfurls across the southwest, opening its wide embrace. To the sun and fostering the growth of all life. The journey to Xizang, now more accessible than ever, welcomes a diverse array of people, tourists, students, builders and aid workers alike. Each person who steps onto this snowy plateau is inevitably drawn to the horizon, finding serenity in nature. Amidst this vast sky, the true essence of Xizang lies in its beautiful natural landscape, with its mountains and rivers symbolizing the region's intrinsic beauty. Every visitor's camera instinctively captures the warm smiles of the Xizang people, reflecting their contentment and harmonious coexistence with nature. As Xizang continues on its path towards stability and high-quality development, the land forever welcomes those who contribute to its growth and cherish its heritage with the heartfelt greeting. Tashi Delik.